Hi friends, it's episode 2 of what not to do when you're painting outdoors. No, I'm just joking. I did a video like that, however, I didn't plan for it, but my first plein air experience about 2 years ago, I didn't prepare enough and I didn't really have that good of an experience, but the video is doing good. So there's a lot of you guys that's seen it, and hopefully a few of you guys learned from my mistakes. Well, it's been 2 years. I haven't been painting that much outside, and for different reasons. Maybe I'll talk about it in the video, who knows. But I'm back now anyways. I'm going to do another attempt today, and I'm a lot better prepared this time, so there is potential to actually have a good experience today and hopefully paint something that looks respectable. And I'm hoping that this video is going to be inspiring for you guys to watch, especially those of you that really haven't taken the step into the outdoors arena and paint with your watercolors, or maybe you've done it once and you failed like me the first time I did it. So maybe this is going to be a video that inspires you, who knows. Okay, let's continue walking here and hopefully find something. I've been walking now for probably like 20 minutes, and I'm actually liking what I'm seeing right here, so I don't think I'm gonna walk that much further. Check out what this place looks like, guys. So the table is up, and now is the moment of truth. If I have all the stuff that I need for today's painting session here. So the brushes are with me, and one thing that you have to think about, I guess, if it's a day like this with almost no wind, it's quite a big possibility there's going to be quite a lot of bugs, and I can really tell that there's no wind because there's flies all over the place, and I don't know if it's me or what they want or whatever, what's going on here. Okay, so I'm going to use this for my water, and here are my paints, so that's good that I brought those. So brushes, paint, paper, that's pretty much all I need, but I do have some tape and a spray bottle just in case, and some paper tissues here as well. And one of the most important things, of course, is the water that I brought here as well. So I'm gonna put some water here in my little container and take out the paper. So the papers that I'm using today is the back side of an old painting that I wasn't very happy with, so I'm using the back side here, and I think that's a great way of using the papers for a second try, and especially a day like today when I'm pretty much just painting without trying to really create a masterpiece. It's more about the experience and do a study here. So using the back side of a paper, that works perfect. Another thing that's a little bit different painting outdoors compared to indoors is the sunlight, because the sunlight could be a blessing. It's beautiful with sunlight over the scene that you're painting. You can see better, there's more contrasts, and that's perfect for someone that wants to paint landscapes, I think. But one thing that could be bad with the direct sunlight is if it's too much sunlight on the paper that you're painting, because you almost get blinded if it's too much. And there is a few things that you can do to get around that. Using sunglasses, that could be helpful, or using a parasol like this. So I actually brought one just in case if I need to. I drilled a few holes here in the table, so I can just set it up if I want to, like this, if I feel like it's needed. But I'm gonna put it to the side now because it doesn't seem like the sunlight is too bad. So this is the scene I'm gonna try to capture. I'm not gonna capture 100%. I'm doing it more impressionistic style, where I'm painting my first impression really. But what I do want to capture is those birch trees. I mean, that maybe those dark trees all the way in the distance. Perhaps some of that beautiful sky that you can see here across the scene as well. And you can also see some beautiful white clouds traveling across the sky there. So who knows, maybe I'll capture some of those as well. The first time I did my plein air painting, one thing that you guys probably didn't notice, but I was in quite a great deal of pain back then. And that's one of the reasons why I really haven't been outdoors painting as much, maybe during the summers as I wanted to. And the reason for the pain was arthritis in my hip. So I had a lot of problems with that. And actually last summer was horrible, to be honest. But maybe around 4 months ago I got a hip replacement, so I don't have any pain at all now, and I'm so excited for a new life starting, kind of. And I'm excited being more mobile. Like today, for example, I want to walk to different locations and paint from there. And one thing that I'm extremely excited about for the future is going up to the mountains, because those are probably my favorite scenes to paint. And it's not really the same thing if you can't go there and experience it. A little water in my spray bottle. Yeah, so that's probably been the biggest reason. And last summer was horrible weather, I think, too. There was a lot of rain. I tried to do several videos. I did the setup, I prepared all my painting stuff, the camera and everything, so you guys can be with me. And sure enough, every time when I walked outside, couple of minutes into that, then it started raining. And raining and painting watercolors, that's not probably the most or the best combination, I think. So my health has been one reason for not painting as much, but also the Swedish weather. And I think the Swedish weather is beautiful when it's a day like this, but I don't know, when it's rainy and whatever, it's not perfect for watercolor painting. So back to talking about the painting here a little bit. I'm trying to be just really relaxed, take it as it comes. I'm not thinking too much about technique, honestly. And I'm hoping that this painting is going to be a little free in a sense, not too controlled. And it has my favorite trees in it too, birch trees. I've done a lot of birch trees over the years. And I don't think I'm ever going to stop, because I just think they're so beautiful and fun to paint. Well, anyways, here I have the blue sky. I can see a little bit of those clouds. I can see a little bit of those dark trees there by the horizon. Okay, I'm gonna paint a little bit of that ground there as well. I can see that there is kind of like a purplish looking field underneath here. I'm gonna try to capture a little bit of that as well. And normally I don't really paint with sunglasses, and the sunglasses actually change a little bit of those hues that I can see there. So it's altering the hues a little bit. But I guess it's altering the hues of the paint that I put down as well in the same way, so maybe it evens out. I do think I want to have some darker trees in here though as well, not only birch trees, because when I'm looking at this scene there's almost 100% birch trees, which is kind of cool. Well, there are some pine trees there to the left, but those are not in the scene that I'm painting really. But I'm thinking that I want to add a little bit just to have some variation. So this is what the first wash looks like. I think I'm gonna let it dry now. I would call this the ugly phase of the painting. It doesn't look much at all at this point, but we're gonna try to fix it on the second washer. I'm just gonna wait a few minutes and let this dry. It's so fun being outside because I keep hearing noises here and there. Sometimes it sounds like it's a bigger animal, and then I'm wondering, I wonder what that is. Is it a moose or something like that? That would definitely add to the experience if you see some cool animal. Obviously, I've been seeing a lot of flies, but I don't really get that excited of seeing those. So, a few butterflies, I hear birds. I saw a fox the other day, so that was kind of cool. But and a deer. But I would want to see a moose. That would be cool. Okay, I think the paint is probably dry by now. That's another big difference. Painting outdoors is especially if it's sunlight out, the paper dries quite fast in comparison to indoors. So you don't really need a hairdryer for that reason anyways. Okay, I'm gonna go back to my painting and see what it looks like now. If painting outdoors is way out of your comfort zone and you feel like it's almost too big of a step leaving your studio or your kitchen table or living room or wherever you're painting, a good first step could probably just do the first wash outside. Then you take a picture of what you're seeing maybe with your phone or camera, and then you finish the painting in your studio. Because most of the time, at least when I'm painting, the first wash is quite loose, quite relaxed, and then I add more and more details later in the painting process. And if you're not really comfortable painting outdoors, then maybe that part of the painting is hard, trying to add the details and try to focus on what you're seeing. But doing the first wash outdoors, then that would probably be a good solution for you. One way of thinking about painting plein air, I think, is it's so easy to just keep painting and capturing everything that you see. And I'm not saying that that is wrong, but sometimes everything that's there doesn't add anything to the painting. And I'm trying to have that approach in general when I'm painting, that I'm trying to think, if I'm gonna add this little detail or whatever, what is it going to do for the painting? And if it's not going to do anything, then maybe it shouldn't be there in the first place. Or if there is something in the painting that, or in the scene that you're looking at, that there's something that's bothering you, maybe just remove it altogether or change it around. And one typical thing is composition. I think it's so easy to get stuck in composition, what you're seeing, and feel like you're kind of forced to capture the composition that you're seeing. But you're not forced to do anything. That's why painting is such a nice feeling doing it, because you can be as creative as you want to. You don't have to follow at all what you're seeing. It's completely up to yourself. And then it's a lot more relaxing too, if you give yourself the permission to do whatever you feel like you want to do. And of course, I'm out here in the wild, but I'm primarily just getting inspired being here. I don't necessarily need to capture everything that I see 100%. Most of the time, if you don't believe in it, what you're gonna do, then the painting's probably not gonna turn out anyways. That's my approach on it anyways. I need to have a positive feeling about what I'm gonna do before I start. Otherwise, there's no point starting at all in the first place. Okay, so I think this is gonna be my stopping point. I think this is gonna be good enough. It's okay for being a study, and honestly, I'm just happy being out here painting outdoors. It's a good start. I'm gonna do this more times this summer. I'm not sure if I'm gonna record every time, because I think I need to do this for myself as well. So I'm sorry about that, but who knows, I might post a few more videos painting outdoors during the summer. That's left of it anyways. Okay, all I need to do now is pack my stuff and try to make sure that I don't forget anything on my way back. I'm gonna finish this video by rating my experience today. It's my first time painting outdoors this summer, and probably not my last one either, especially since I had a really good experience actually. I had everything with me. I probably spent, I would say, a good an hour and a half probably. And I could easily have started a new painting, maybe moved somewhere else, but I don't want to overdo it because I want to feel like I'm longing to do this again shortly, if the weather forecast is looking good. Okay, anyways, what's the rating for today? I would say that I would rate today 4 out of 5. The weather, the spot that I found, how I felt during this whole painting process. Making a video at the same time for you guys, it's not as easy as you think. Trying to get all the angles and whatever, and trying to focus on what to paint, and at the same time creating content for you guys. But to get a 5, I think I would want the painting to be a little bit better, I think. It was a little bit too easy, but I don't think you can ask too much, considering I painted pretty fast here and didn't really take my time, maybe as I should. But maybe the next one is going to be a 5 out of 5. So I'm excited about that. And who knows, maybe I'll take you guys with me on that one as well. But I'm not making any promises. But it's been fun. And before I say bye to you guys and thank you for watching this video, some of you are watching this on YouTube, and if you don't know, I'm actually posting one video every week, a tutorial, different kind of motifs, landscapes, urban scenes, portraits, different paintings inspired by other artists. So it's a platform that's growing constantly, and you're more than welcome to join my community over there. And those of you that are on Patreon, thank you for the support. I've had a great time ever since I started on Patreon, and I really appreciate all of you looking at my videos, giving me positive feedback, and making this artist journey possible. So thank you to all of you guys. I really appreciate everything that you do. Okay guys, have a good one. I'll see you in the next one.